with Nick, having a beer. Cheers,
Cheers.
Nick. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Let's start from the beginning. Let's go back for a second. So I think a lot of people want to know, and I've been really interested. What was your conversations like before The Bachelorette? Because everyone says, oh, she shouldn't have become The Bachelorette. Do you agree with that?
No, I mean, I'll say this about like our relationship prior to her being The Bachelorette. You know, when we first started talking, it was very much a friendship. You know, it was well before she was ever The Bachelorette, well before she even knew it was a realistic option. And it definitely just started as a friendship, you know, and that, you know, like a lot of friendships do, we really enjoyed our conversations. We had a lot of great conversations, and we really got to know each other, you know, really well. You know, and I think at some point things kind of clicked between us a little bit, and but at the same time, I don't think we really knew like what it was, right? We didn't put a label on it,
right?
And by the same time,
like we're boyfriend girlfriend.
Yeah, like there's nothing like that, right?
Right.
And so, and right around that time where things kind of clicked, then the possibility or the option of her being The Bachelorette was. So it's kind of this weird dynamic, and so, you know, we respected the fact that, you know, she was going to do this, and so, you know, we still communicated, we still talked, and it was like this weird, you know, I think kind of the general sentiment between us was, I like you more than I should, and the timing really sucks, right? But
so how did you feel when she decided to be The Bachelorette? Was that, I mean, it sounds like that must have been hard for you.
I think, you know, when we said our goodbyes on the phone, you know, I think the last thing I said to her was, I hate to say this, but I hope the guys pick Brit.
Oh, that's right, because there's a chance that she wasn't going to be The Bachelorette.
So there was definitely this kind of, you know, as a friend, I was excited for her, you know, but as a guy who got to know this, you know, incredible girl and
crushing on her,
really got to, you know, really enjoyed, you know, what I got to learn about her. I was hoping the guys would pick Brit.
So to clear everything up, you did not know that you were going on the show when Caitlin left to be The Bachelorette?
100% no. I mean, and I think Caitlin mentioned that, you know, we definitely joked about the possibility of me getting on the limit. And I think my response to her was absolutely not, you know. You know, as you know, having done it, like, yeah, it's an extraordinary experience, and you get to do all these crazy things, but it's also not easy, especially when you have real feelings for someone. It can be a very difficult process. So the possibility of doing it again was just like absolutely not for me. But
so what changed your mind? What made you decide I'm going to do this?
I think it was again that realization that, you know, that hope that the guys would pick good, realizing that they didn't. And then,
what was that like? When you found out, what was that like?
I was surprised just how like bummed I was, and I remember the moment. Like I called my dad. I was like, they picked Caitlin.
So your dad knew?
Yeah, my parents knew that we talked, and they had mentioned that we talked, and I was hoping I'd hear from her.
Yeah.
And then like kind of the days that followed, there was this kind of, you know, do I really try to come? Do I actually do this? And I decided that there was a potential chance for something really special, and I said, you know what the heck, I'll give it a shot.
You gave it a shot.
Gave it a shot. And like I said, I was very nervous. Like I was very.
Because you knew going in the guys were not going to like.
Well, not only the guys, like I assumed all the guys would be not a fan, but not just the guys. I assumed that everyone, you know, would, you know, not be a fan of me coming back.
Oh, so everyone watching.
Everyone watching, like, you know, it's been done before. It never goes well.
It never goes well, ever.
You know,
but it's different with, I mean, normally though when people come on, they get sent home. That wasn't the case with you.
Yeah, no, but like, you know, there's all these unwritten rules of the franchise, as you know, that like have come up, and like I knew that, you know, there'd be a lot of opinions and a lot of things that people would say about like my intentions, and I knew that, you know, it wouldn't be a very popular thing.
Right.
Listen, at the end of the day, the girl I was crushing on was The Bachelorette. I felt like I really had no other choice, you know, because if I didn't come, I assumed that she would, you know, and she ultimately did, but get engaged with someone else, and I would be left wondering, what if?
Right.
You know? And so
I think that says a lot about how you felt about her, the fact that you knew that you were going to face all this opposition, not only from people watching, but from the guys, and you still decided to do it.
I mean, she was definitely worth it, you know, and listen, I kind of joked with my parents and my friends, I'm like, well, I know it can't kill me.
Yeah.
And it didn't, you know. But
good.
Yeah, I think even Sean would agree with me that you know, when you start developing real feelings for someone in that environment, it does become a very difficult place to be in. Like, you don't sleep very well. You're constantly thinking about like how do you handle things, and you're supposed to be okay with things that you would normally not be okay with, right? And you really are torn between, you know, being true to yourself and handling a situation in the real world, and what you should or should not do in that environment. And you know, it's very difficult, and I knew that going in, how challenging it would be.